there. Screws aside. Probably better not to just get into the habit of, get out of the habit really of carrying the screws as you're unscrewing. Probably doesn't matter so much with this job here. Some other jobs, especially with cars, you drop a screw or a bolt in a certain spot and you'll probably never get it. And just remember that next to the earth and the power plug goes at the back of the unit, there's the long screw, which is similar to the short screw on the cover. Alright, one more. There we go. That's it, just double check you've got all the screws. Looks like I've got all of them. And then we can lift up the board that comes out with the back plate as well. Okay. So there you have it. Removed. Slightly different to the 60 gig. Not a lot of difference there. Alright. So now we just pop this cover off. Again, these little bits with the plastics, usually do them gently because not much pressure is needed for them. Put that aside. Okay. Now this one's had a repair done on it already. It's had the yellow light of death repaired, and when it was put back together, it had the black screen. So it would power up, but the black screen would come up and there'd be no sound, no boot up or anything like that. So we don't know exactly what's happened with that repair, what was done, or whether it was damaged prior to the yellow light of death, or during the yellow light of death, I should say. So yeah, we'll see. Basically I'm just taking this one apart so I can demonstrate how to take the 40 gig PS3 apart. Okay. So we'll get these main screws here that hold down the board. Again, make sure you use a good screwdriver because you don't want to strip these screws. I like to undo them bit by bit just so you don't put too much tension on one side. And once they're backed off a bit, you can take them right out. Again, some people probably think it's not necessary, it's just how I prefer to remove them, just to be safe. So there's 4 screws. There you have it, plates and the screws. Okay. And now with the 40 gig, got this little tab here which joins the two sides together. You just got to pull that tab and then feed the cables through and the ribbons, or the ribbon in this case, making sure not to damage it. These are the bits we have to be careful not to damage anything. Okay, we've got the top cover off. That's that. Put that aside. Make sure you've got a clean bench to work on. This is just a bit of old paint. It was on the bench before I got this bench, so you have to excuse that, that's not me. But it's not going to affect anything in any way, it's been cleaned prior to working on it. Now what I did notice taking this apart is it looks like someone's used some really aggressive flux of some sort and they've really coated it on, and this could be what's affected it. I don't know, or maybe just excessive heat. does look like excessive heat has been applied to some of these here. I'm not sure how well you can see that on the camera, but these actually look like they've warped a little bit, which I personally think could be the problem. Okay. I will flip her over. Okay, so what we do, remove the fan plug, just pull that out. The difference with the 40 gig as opposed to the 60 is you don't have those two screws, those tiny screws that you have to remove. Because that's one thing you don't have to worry about with the 40 gig. So if you're watching the 60 gig tutorial and you're trying to do it on the 40 gig, you won't have to worry about that. Again, that's with this model. I'm not sure what other 40 gig models will look like on the inside. This is the only one I've ever opened. Just got to separate the board. There we go. Cooked on good and proper. There you have it. There's the thermal compounds, if you can call that thermal compounds. Not much there, might be enough once it's squashed down, but yeah, that's all that's there. Again, that could be the problem, I'm not 100% sure. And again, this chip here looks warped a little bit as well, just down there, so that's not a good sign either. And the battery you don't have to touch on the 40 gig, no need. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how to take apart the 40 gig. And soon we're going to show you how to put it back together. Now with the thermal compound, just get your alcohol wipes, which is what I've got here. Remove that, clean it as with Gilxie's guide. It's been a pretty good guide for a lot of people, very helpful. So yeah, follow the guide. Clean it up very well as is suggested, and when you apply the compound, yeah, do it as the guide says, just to be safe. Don't, unless you know you're qualified in this sort of field, I guess you'd know what to do and what not to do. Okay. You can see a lot of, I'm not sure how well that'll turn out on the camera. It's not exactly a HD camera, but a bit of flux, and just, it's a real mess in there. I don't know who's done that rough work, but that's what's happened. Yeah, and make sure you clean thermal compound off these two areas as well. Okay. Be careful not to bend these plates too much. They don't feel very strong. I feel like they can snap quite easily.